is Kate Flores, and I work with VOCIS. I'd like to tell a couple, 3 stories of how coaching I've used and coaching has had an impact in a few different realms of my work. One that has been really significant has been around creating, transforming a work culture to one where more coaching is integrated in what we do, where we're building leaders among our staff. I supervise right now a staff of 6, and for years, again, I work with the Latino community, and for years we had this dilemma about hiring people in who didn't necessarily, if they were coming locally, didn't necessarily come with all the skills and capacities that were needed. And I always, for years, I've been here for 5 years, I struggled with how do I mentor? I'd like to be able to mentor them at the same time, but I don't know how to do that. And so I'd find myself giving a lot of advice and telling them what to do, and I could tell that it wasn't effective. I could tell I wasn't getting what I wanted of them being able to experiment and create and bring forth their ideas, and coaching was what I was looking for and what I needed at that time. I didn't know it back then. I wouldn't have known it was coaching. I knew that I had a learning edge there, that I needed to learn something of how to better build other people's leadership skills. I needed to learn how to be a better mentor, but I didn't know how. And so coaching was exactly what I needed. And we were fortunate to have all of our staff trained in coaching. And that significantly has contributed to creating this culture of coaching within the organization, where people's strengths are being utilized, people's creativity is being realized, there's potential that's being developed, and people feel valued and feel that they can experiment and bring forth their ideas and do work in really innovative ways, and that they have a supportive culture around them to do that. So that's one area where it's been really impactful. The other has been in my realm, you could say as a community leader. I go to a lot of different meetings and collaborative groups, and recently had an experience in a meeting where the skills of coaching can be directly integrated. This is the coaching in the background. There was a presentation around collaboration, and I think the personal leadership skills that coaching has given me helped me to have the courage to step forth and say, actually, I need to challenge this group to think differently about this. This is a certain narrative, and I want to challenge us to have a different viewpoint. So both being able to challenge, have the viewpoint, the ability to step forward, and say, challenge what was going on. And then at the end, it led to some really great discussion that got much deeper than has ever happened in these meetings. And then it said, well, come back to, all right, where's the accountability? Where are the next steps, the action steps? Because also, this is some of the great value of coaching. It brings it back to then the action, the accountability. Because what often tends to happen if you ever get to that place of having deeper conversation, if you don't have that other piece, then people just leave away and thinking, oh, well, there was that and nothing ever happened with it. Or, people complained and nothing ever happened with it. And so, in that particular instance, we were getting to the end of the meeting, it was going to close, and again, I said, wait a second, all right, what are we going to do? What's the next easy step? So I see it having that transformative potential for how people show up in community, in these collaborative groups to, I think, really make those type of collective efforts much more effective, and reaching deeper instead of just at surface level. So there's that aspect, and I sort of touched on the personal aspect, especially over these last few months of the certification program. I can say the most important learning for me has been not actually to focus on the coaching skills, but to finding the strength and ability in myself and knowing what works for me to get into the coaching stand, and showing up as that way of being and trusting that when I'm in that space, it's very centered and grounded, and even the true and holistic me, then that's where I have the power and wisdom to be able to bring forth leadership that impacts, more greatly in the community.